Hello and welcome to Miss Hannah Loves Grammar. In this video I'll be concentrating on the theme of family across the novella A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. So family is presented in contrast to Scrooge's selfish mindset in the novella, but particularly in staves 1 to 4. Dickens illustrates the benefits of a loving and close family, namely through the Cratchit family. We see in stave 2 that Scrooge is rescued from school by his sister and taken home because nobody else comes to claim him. It's important to also recognise that his sister's son in stave 1 is Fred, who wishes his uncle a Merry Christmas and invites him for Christmas dinner. As we see, Scrooge rejects that offer. Yet in stave 3, the Ghost of Christmas Present forces Scrooge to see the Cratchits. They are a virtuous family, even amidst their poverty and illness, and they seem so close together. It's pivotal that by the end of this novella, Scrooge's transformation is in part him recognising the importance of his own family and taking on an honorary role as a member of the Cratchit family. So why does Dickens do this? What are his intentions? Well, it's important for us to realise that Dickens is often cited as a key player in shaping the way we perceive Christmas today. Family time is at the heart of his novella, and it's definitely a part of, still today, how we view Christmas celebrations if they're in full swing. It's important for us also to recognise that Dickens intentionally shows Bob Cratchit as a fabulous father, who's in steep contrast to Scrooge's own father, who we don't meet, but we know neglects Scrooge. And yet Bob is kind and gracious. There's a parallel set up there. By stave 5, Scrooge becomes a second father to Tiny Tim, accentuating once more how Scrooge has changed, but also stressing to us as readers, Dickens is telling us that the past can be overcome. It can be triumphed and made better. So even if you didn't have a great parent, you can be a great parent to somebody else. So I wonder, is this actually cathartic? Is this actually Charles Dickens trying to get some sort of comfort from his own traumatic childhood? He had a very difficult relationship with his own father and was neglected amongst his family's poverty in a really difficult patch and series of times that were difficult across his childhood that coloured across the whole of his literary canon. But regardless, family is at the heart of this novel. So as I weave us through a few pivotal quotes, I've chosen a few that are short and easy to memorise, accepting that stave 3 is the heartiest stave for this rich theme. But these are short quotes that are easy for you to memorise. Best of luck. I'm sorry for Scrooge. I couldn't be angry with him if I tried. Who suffers by his ill whims? Himself. Always. So this is Fred saying this amongst his friends about his uncle in stave 3. Even though he's frustrated by Scrooge, he still evidently cares. And that's conveyed to us through the emotive language choices that Fred stresses his sense of care and investment in his uncle. He uses words like sorry, angry, suffer, ill whim, all reinforcing that same sense of concern that he has. It's clear that even if his uncle is not a great family member who's particularly supportive of him, Fred is still caring for him. I think in particular the moment that shows his frustration is the rhetorical question that's posed rather philosophically. Fred seems really reasoned here. He uses the affirmative always as his final word, signalling how he knows his logic is right and that his uncle is ultimately hurting himself the most. So this moment is important for us because it conveys how far away Scrooge is from prioritising family or even remotely valuing its importance for himself, let alone everybody else. He loved the child and wished to keep him by his side. This is a description of Bob Cratchit, once more the devoted father to his child in need. The verbs loved and wished signal his intense devotion to his son, and this is mirrored towards all his other children on Christmas Day. Alongside it, we realise that Bob loves his whole family to be united and together, and he's sad when he's told that his daughter Martha might not be there. There's a sudden declension in his high spirits at the thought of her not making it for Christmas. This is a huge shift from the depiction we have in Stave 2 of Scrooge's father, who's narrated, at least by Scrooge's sister, as so much kinder than he used to be. Now, these words draw out how distant Scrooge is to his father. She is the one telling him that his father is different now. But the comparative adjective kinder implies that his father has been cruel in the past, and arguably is still cruel because he doesn't collect his son from school. It is a clear formative moment, actually, for us to realise that Scrooge had a difficult relationship with his own father, because that definitely seems to implant itself into his own view of family life. When we skip across to Stave 3 and Stave 5 here, we are seeing two very important moments of joy. A Merry Christmas to us all, my dears, God bless us, which all the family re-echoed. The sheer joy and closeness from that scene of the Christmas Day feast with the Cratchits stresses the power of family as a support network. If you look at that family, they are poor, there are ill children, they don't have much, but they have love. The loving and possessive phrase from Bob Cratchit, my dears, focuses on how much Bob cherishes the time and relationships with his family. He values it. And the image of all the family re-echoing their father's words reflects their sense of belonging and harmony in their family's identity. Now, when we skip to Stave 5, he did it all and infinitely more. And to Tiny Tim, who did not die, he was a second father. Well, this is Scrooge's transformation, and it's evident in the generosity of his spirit, his habits. He does it all, we're told, and the adverb infinitely in that phrase, infinitely more, suggests that he goes above and beyond what's told. His transformation is complete in him providing a secondary role as Tiny Tim's second father. The idea of being someone's second father implies that you want to invest your time and energy into another person. So here we see the true transformation. The family spirit, the family identity is taken on as pivotal for Scrooge, and it is fundamental for him to accepting that he needs to change. So the ghosts bring him to a point where he is transformed, but definitely sees himself as pivotal to supporting others. Generosity of spirit and family are recentered once more, and Dickens is in no uncertain terms proving to us as readers there is a power in recognising your place in a family. Why not subscribe to Miss Hannah Loves Grammar for all things English, literary and grammatical?